What is the problem with Dr. Umar? I have been criticized for criticizing Dr. Umar. Okay, fine. Let's look at 4 different video clips showing 4 political positions that Dr. Umar has.
Anybody in Africa who is not a black African is an invader or an opportunist or the child of an invader or an opportunist.
This statement is so problematic from many different reasons. Yes, there is historical invaders in Africa. Yes, there is an exile from ancient Egypt. Yes, there is an attack on black history. Yes, there is racism and discrimination in North Africa. But everyone who is white is not necessarily an invader. There are white Berbers such as in the Rif who came as settlers, and some of them are Roman descendants. There are people from the Middle East who came to Africa to teach Islam and to trade in peaceful means. Yes, there are white people in South Africa who are, for example, from Indian descent who came there to work. And some, say, European people in southern parts of Africa, they love African people, they want to cure poverty because they are very left-wing. So no, you cannot just generalize an over-blanket statement and say that everyone who is not black is an invader. That is going to lead to racism.
The first principle, all African people are one family. We believe in one race, one family, one people. So whether you in New York speaking English, whether you in South Africa speaking Zulu.
Ooh, you see the problem here. Did you ever ask the Zulu people of their opinion? Did you ask the Zulu people or the Xhosa people their opinion? Did you ask the Fulani? Did you ask the Somali? Did you ask the Oromo? Did you ask the Tuareg? Did you ask the Wolof, the Mandinka? You are speaking on behalf of billions of people, assigning identities based on race to them, but you never got asked their opinion. So again, this American way to view black, white, mixed, Dr. Umar just projects it to the entire African continent.
White, Asian, Chinese, I believe in respecting everybody. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status.
Oh God. So yes, maybe it is a contract in America for your particular specific situation, but many people in Africa marry for other reasons because of contract. Prophet Muhammad said in hadith, you can marry a woman because of her wealth or her family lineage or because of her deen. So everyone doesn't marry just based on a contract, number one. Number two, there are plenty of Senegalese and Gambians and other West Africans who are married to white women of, let's say, higher status than themselves. Myself, I've been together with, let's say, white women who have a sort of come from a better family than myself. So that is certainly not true. Number three, Dr. Umar again is trying to solve a very specific African-American problem with these Uncle Toms and sellout celebrities. And he generalizes it to billion people without knowing anything about the situation in the continental Africa or Afro-Europeans. And this oversimplification into absurdity is again what we see with Dr. Umar, and it's rooted in identity politics.
I hope you're listening to me, President Dumboya. I hope you're listening to me, General Goita. I hope you're listening to me, General Chiani. I hope you're listening to me, young President Ibrahim Traore. If you take the money from China, if you take too much assistance from Russia, if you take too many handouts from India, you become their slave. Russia don't give a damn about Africa. Russia don't like Africa no more than China.
Whoa, this is completely not true. Again, Dr. Umar thinks that Russia is white people and China is white people, but they are not the same as Americans. Dr. Umar, China trades $282 billion a year with Africa. China is the largest investor in Africa by far after the diaspora in Europe. What are African Americans doing for Africa? How much money are African Americans spending on Africa? Not a lot. Yet you feel entitled to attack China, Africa's largest trading partner that builds infrastructure, schools, houses in Africa and cooperates with the African people. Number one, Russia is helping Africa a lot militarily. The Russian or Soviet regime helped South Africa against the apartheid racist regime. So South Africans are very, very loyal to Russia. Wagner is probably even helping some of these countries that you're seeing coup d'etat here. So the reason why the military, for example, Ibrahim Traoré and also General Chiani can make a coup against the French-controlled puppet regimes is because there is a Russian military backup behind the scenes, which is why they are waving the Russian flag. You are harming Africa when you're attacking China and Russia like this. You are harming African economic interests. You are harming African struggle for independence when you're doing these kinds of statements. And Dr. Umar is doing it again for the same reasons, because he sees them as white people and Africans as black people. This identity politics, race-based overgeneralization, leads to Dr. Umar making constantly harmful policy suggestions to the continent